The college football playoff picture is starting to shift, and one program is quietly sending shockwaves through the entire field, the Georgia Bulldogs. While most of the attention has been centered around Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech, and the surprising rise of Indiana, bettors and analysts are increasingly coming to the same conclusion: Georgia may be the most dangerous team left standing. Over the past few weeks, Georgia hasn't just been winning, they've been evolving. Their performance in the SEC championship was the clearest sign yet that this team has unlocked another level, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. The Bulldogs dismantled Alabama in a way few teams have managed to do this season, and that result sent a loud message across the playoff bracket. Odds makers have noticed. Georgia's championship odds have steadily improved, not because of hype, but because of what's happening on the field. When Alabama went on the road and handled Oklahoma in the first round, it only reinforced how impressive Georgia's earlier domination of the Tide truly was. That transitive confidence has pushed Georgia into the spotlight as the team no one wants to face. According to CBS Sports analyst Robbie Calland, Georgia currently offers the best value among playoff contenders. That's a bold statement considering the resumes of Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech, and undefeated Big Ten champion Indiana, but it's one rooted in timing. Georgia is peaking right now, and history shows that late-season momentum often matters more than early dominance. One of the most interesting parts of Georgia's run is that it hasn't been fueled by flashy quarterback play. Gunnar Stockton isn't lighting up stat sheets or throwing highlight reel bombs, but he has something that matters even more in January football: composure. He makes timely plays, avoids costly mistakes, and consistently delivers when the stakes are highest. That reliability, paired with Georgia's defensive resurgence, makes them incredibly hard to beat. A potential semifinal matchup against Indiana would be anything but easy. The Hoosiers have been one of the season's biggest surprises, riding discipline and consistency to an undefeated record. But Georgia's physicality, particularly up front, presents a challenge Indiana hasn't consistently faced. If the Bulldogs bring the same intensity they showed in the SEC title game, they'll believe they can beat anyone, and honestly, they might be right. Meanwhile, Ohio State finds itself in a more complicated position. Talent has never been the issue for the Buckeyes. Instead, internal turbulence has altered how outsiders view their championship chances. The situation surrounding Brian Hartline has loomed large over the program, especially after the Big Ten championship game. Ryan Day's decision to hand play calling duties to Hartline in that game resulted in an offense that struggled to finish drives. Ohio State moved the ball but failed to capitalize in the red zone, leaving points on the field in moments that define championship teams. That performance forced Day to act quickly. Hartline has since been removed from play-calling responsibilities and will now focus on his original role, developing receivers and assisting in game planning. The offense is officially back under Day's control, a move that brings clarity but also raises questions about timing. Making such a change this late in the season is far from ideal, especially with a playoff matchup looming. There is an argument, however, that the early stumble relieved some pressure. Losing removed the burden of perfection and forced Ohio State to confront issues before the biggest games of the year. Still, no coach wants to be adjusting leadership structure in December, especially when Georgia is gaining steam. As Ohio State prepares for its Cotton Bowl showdown against Miami, the Buckeyes understand what's at stake. The path forward is clear but unforgiving. Execution, discipline, and trust in the system will determine whether they can keep pace with a Georgia team that looks increasingly complete. And that's the real takeaway here: Georgia doesn't need to be flashy. They don't need viral highlights. They just need to play their brand of football, and right now, that brand looks playoff-proof. While other contenders deal with adjustments, questions, and pressure, the Bulldogs are simply locking in. The warning has been sent. Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Indiana, ignore Georgia at your own risk. Right finger if you enjoy deep college football playoff breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the channel. We're covering every major CFP storyline all the way to the national championship.